No one on earth was born successful. It's a journey with multiple twists and turns. These are the stories of individuals who may have gotten lost along the way, but managed to navigate back on the right track. You're listening to the Success is Learned Behavior podcast with EVANTHESHOW.
All right, Success is Learned Behavior. EVANTHESHOW here. It's been way too long since I've done an episode. Pandemic happened, life happened, a lot of things have happened. To be honest, I know we've had a ton of great episodes, but sometimes, you know the nature of the show, a lot of those stories can be mentally draining, and a brother needed a break. Especially the episode, if you've watched or you've listened with my mother. That one was a lot and a lot of information to process and different things of that nature. So I was just, needed some time, and now we're back at it. And we were supposed to release this particular episode a while ago, but things happen.
They always happen.
But I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And today I have I'm gonna call her a fitness mogul. She's an entrepreneur, just a great person all around, and she has a powerful story to share when it comes to women's empowerment and different things like that. She's one of the people on the top of my list, and all of the great work that you're doing. I know you got the new office and studio over. Was that Union?
Yes, that's the Union.
You're not too far from my parents, actually.
Really?
You're like directly around the corner. I gotta come and stop by.
Come stop by.
For sure. And I'm talking about none other than Crystal Jenkins. Thank you for doing this again.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure. I love sitting down talking to you. It's always more than what it's supposed to be. So I like that.
I think the last time we did the episode, we actually talked like 2 hours after the episode was done.
Right.
So like it definitely, I think you are extremely inspiring and different.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So it's easy to talk to somebody who has a like mind. And
yes.
You have a like mind.
Yes.
So we definitely connect on that level. But tell me what's been going on with you.
Oh man, this year has been very much so something. Very much something. This year it's been challenging going from being an employee to a full-time entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. I've been through a lot in regards to the pandemic, in regards to my family. Yeah. Everybody thought that we're gonna be all right in 2021, but it's the aftermath.
Right. I thought everything would be over.
Okay. So it's just like you're going through the motions of life, right, with family, and then you are now going through the motions with business in the middle of a pandemic. So it's been very interesting. It's been very busy. I've been very blessed. I'm not going to lie. I've learned a lot about life, about myself, about what I'm able to endure. I was able this year to go from just being an entrepreneur to an actual author. So I've read right, exactly.
Yeah, I have seen that. Because I do follow and pay attention to that.
But my more in-depth book, it hasn't even been released yet. It's a book about marketing.
Okay.
And how I built my brand from nothing to something, and how I'm still growing my brand. Yes. And I feel like by the time it's released, I'll even have more information to come out. So it's been a very interesting year, to say the least.
That's what I'm talking about. I know some of the questions I'm probably going to ask you again because we didn't get to release the episode. Fine. But I want to know your journey. Can you just tell the people? Just tell me what are the names of your brand, because you have a couple of brands, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Just give me the list.
It's a lot. So my brand, my fitness company, the name of the company is Strength of a Winner Fitness. Mm-hmm. My nonprofit women's empowerment company is called Strength of a Woman.
Right.
But my logo is for both of them. It's SOAW. But and my name is Crystal Jenkins, aka Miss Fabulously Fit.
There you go. Now, you have an interesting story. I want to start with just talking about the weight loss. You lost a ton of weight. Yes. Then you said you gained weight, and then you lost it again. Tell me the journey. What was the biggest you've been in your life?
The biggest that I have been in my life was 355 pounds.
I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine looking because I only know post weight loss, Crystal.
Right,
So
right.
imagining you 350 pounds. What do you think? Have you always been like the type of person that was? Because I've been big my whole life. Was that? Is that your story
Yes,
too?
that's
Okay.
my story.
Okay.
Like I was big my whole life. I was the biggest cousin and I was the youngest cousin. You know, I was bigger than all my aunts. So I just like, you know, my father, he passed away in November, God rest his soul. But he was 6'5", and he's so like everybody on my father's side of the family was just really bigger people, and it's like so my whole life I've always been plus size. Like I was a size 22 at the age of 18.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what would you say contributed besides, I guess, eating fast food and different things of that nature? What state of mind were you in when you were at your heaviest?
I was definitely depressed. I was definitely, even though I feel like, even as a full figure girl, once I got to a certain age and I just started changing my mindset around like, if I'm going to look like this, I'm going to try to feel my best. But in hindsight, when I look back now, I was depressed. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know like, being healthy was what was something that we were all afforded, as opposed to maybe people when we were growing up, it was like, oh, white people eat certain food, we don't eat that food.
Yo, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And I was just having a conversation too with someone. I was just like, it's crazy that eating healthy is connected to whiteness or whatever. No, that's for white people, or Whole Foods is for white people, or Starbucks is for white people. And it's like, no, it's we can have it too.
Exactly.
It's nothing wrong with being black and healthy. We don't have to have hot mogs and chitlins and stuff.
All that stuff that's killing us, and it's killed us for years. And I feel like at that point I didn't know. So it was really I really wasn't in a good space when I was that big. Like I was like drinking heavy and thinking it's fun, smoking and
to an extent.
Right.
No,
to an extent. Like as I like now, it's more everything is in like moderation. But like at that point, I was like every single night after work, I was going to happy hour and I was drinking. I was eating bad on top of drinking all of the time. Then on top of working crazy, not working out, just not caring about myself. And I found out later on that I wasn't as fabulous as I thought I was mentally, because I didn't care about myself. Forget the way I looked. Forget that, my hair was always nice and I always had my lashes popping. I could dress down. I used to do modeling as a plus size woman. I didn't care about myself, because if I cared about myself, I would have took care of myself better.
Now, what brought you to that realization though?
It took years. It actually what made me change the way I ate was my mother being diagnosed with diabetes.
Gotcha.
And once she was diagnosed with diabetes and she got on the diabetes medication, she started walking from like May to November. She had lost 50 pounds. She changed her eating and she was able to reverse her diabetes. Not I think it's type 2 she had. Not
because type 1 you can't really reverse
it. Exactly. Yeah, so she was able to reverse it. And I'm just like, well, if that's all it takes for me to be healthy, then I'm going to do what I have to do. And my journey began at that time. I lost 70 pounds and then I got into a terrible relationship.
Terrible. Okay.
Terrible. Very toxic. But again, at that point, I didn't know my worth. Even though I had lost weight, I still didn't know who I was and what I deserved.
No, yeah. Now, what made this relationship so terrible?
He was, first of all, he was always popping pills. Let's start with that.
Okay.
So I feel like there's certain things, and I'm not talking about the lights. There's really no light pills at this point, but it was really heavy. Yeah, it's really heavy usage in drugs, and then the cheating, the habitual cheating, and then the verbal abuse, which probably would have led to physical abuse if I'd have stayed. But I just was like, once he jumped at me one time, I was like, yeah, this gotta stop now.
Wow. Okay. Now, what attracted you to him in the first place?
Ugh. I mean, in my mind at that time, he was fine, child. I just, I'm so glad I grew up.
But it's funny though, because like even me, like the people that you deem fine or beautiful at one point, sometimes I look back now and like, I think what was I thinking? Not because their appearance changed, but it's just like all of their actions just don't match or line up to what they look like on the outside, and they're just like, yo, like
it's the values, like what you value now versus then. Like, because now the average girl will see him and be like, oh, he's still fine.
Okay.
But like I know all he comes with. Like, so it's like, and I know better.
Right.
Nah, I'm
you
good.
like, you want to warn him, like, hey, look, wait.
Exactly. Please don't do it to yourself. Hazardous. He's one of them guys that need to come with the hazard label.
Okay. Now, how did his drug use affect your relationship? You said it was verbal, like, but I want to know, like, how'd that contribute to, like, you know, your weight going up and you not feeling like, you know, you're valuable and all of that stuff, if you don't mind sharing.
Absolutely. I think that's a big part of why I do what I do now, because I feel like a lot of times attachments and soul ties are real.
Oh,
so
100%.
Exactly. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day.
Listen.
So, I mean, he had a devil tattooed on his arm. We're going to leave that at that in regards to soul ties. So, but, ultimately what it did was I realized that he didn't love himself. He didn't value himself. He didn't care about how he treated himself. So of course he couldn't care about how he treated me, you know, and I look back at that, and honestly now it's like almost like that's a shame. Like I feel bad for you as a person, because you even deserve more than what you're doing to yourself. Right. You know, at that, when I look back at it, I don't know what he's doing now, but you know, so that he would come in drunk and curse me out. I would find out that he was cheating, and he would be like, "Oh, cause you fat." Like it's just all types of stuff. Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awful. That's a really terrible experience. So you feel like. All right. Do you think you felt you were more valuable before you connected with him?
I know I was.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I know that, and this is just what I've seen in my life. There's sometimes you could get into a relationship and your whole world just go down. Yeah. And it's because you are attached to the wrong people.
That's a fact.
And like, that's what happened. Like literally I lost my job, my car. I lost my first business. That's when I used to sell jewelry. The name of my company was Simply Crystals. So I've always been an entrepreneur. Yeah, I've always been an entrepreneur. Like that was like 11, 12 years ago. Okay. Before it was a thing. So
right. Before it got cool and trendy to be an entrepreneur.
Exactly. So I lost that. I lost my apartment. I damn near lost my mind. I had gained like 90 pounds of the 70 that I lost. And it's just because I was in a bad place. Because like when you're in a relationship and you love somebody and they don't love you and you don't know your worth, you start thinking it's you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. And it's funny that you even mentioned soul ties, because I was having a conversation with some younger people. And you and I, we've grown up, you know, in church and stuff like that. I got you.
Thank you.
We've grown up in church. I might need your help. Hold on. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think it's the oil in my hands.
So I was talking to some young kids, and I believe like, I don't want to be one of those people who's like, oh, you know, don't have sex ever and all of this stuff, and you know, don't do this until that. But I absolutely believe we mistreat sex.
Oh, yeah.
Sex is what connects us. And that's when you have those soul ties. Like every person you have sex with, you have a piece of them.
Yep, still.
And, right. So it's like, that's, from what you tell me, all of the things that was happening to him. And then when you connected with him and then y'all, you know, exchanged whatever, is like, that's when all of this stuff just started to pile up and started to happen. And it was like a snowball effect. And then you're in deep depression because he's in deep depression.
Absolutely. And that's what it was.
Yeah. It
was like, one thing I realized has always been a thing for me is trauma bonds. So I feel like when it comes to sex, get to know that person. Yes. You know, I'm not going to act like I didn't have sex before marriage and all of that, because I'm still not married. Right. But at the same time, know what that person is, what he does, what he's into, what is his mindset. Right. Even if they're not where they want to be, are they striving?
Right.
Do they think negatively all the time? Like, you know, how is their life? Like what is their life like? Do they know who they want to be or where they're going? And when you're younger, I know it's very, very hard to do that, but at least make sure you like them. No, for real, like,
that's funny that you said, yeah.
at least make
Yeah.
sure you like them. Like, I had come to a point where I'm just like, yo, dude, like, outside of the room, I don't like you.
Wow.
I don't like to chill with you. Like, you're not my type of person.
Right.
Like, and I have a lot
that's the realest thing I've heard in a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, honestly, it's like, because you got to think about it. We're going to have more regular days than we're going to have exciting trips, marriage, dinners and all that.
Yeah.
Can we sit in the living room on a Sunday afternoon and just really look at you and chill and have a conversation and laugh? That's you got to be my friend. Like, that's right. If I don't like you, I can't do it.
That's important. And you know what it is too? So like, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong. I'm not the type of person. I'm very open-minded, but I believe, right, a lot of people that we have this spark with, maybe we're supposed to do something with them, but maybe having relations or being in a romantic relationship isn't it. Like, we feel that spark and we feel the connection, but the purpose behind that feeling it's not supposed to be sexual.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I agree because I have so many male friends.
Okay.
I have a lot of male friends, and I don't sleep with my male friends. If I slept with my male friends, you want to be my friend.
Right.
And but it's so funny because what taught me that was being a personal trainer and being around men.
Okay.
So sometimes, naturally we're opposite sex, right? Or even if you attract to the same sex, whatever. When you're around a person and you guys are like-minded, sometimes you can be attracted to them, but that doesn't mean that you're supposed to do that.
Yes.
Food is really, really good, right? Fried chicken is really, really good. Donuts is really, but you can't have it every time you see it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like if we just make it simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just because somebody is fine or that girl is bad, don't mean that y'all supposed to have that together, because y'all could really destroy what the purpose is that you guys were connected for.
1,000,000%. Like, yo, it might be whatever you believe in, like God, universe, whatever you believe in, right? There's and I believe in God for sure. I think there's a purpose, right? I think there's a purpose that God puts, a person in our path or anything. Like, maybe you were supposed to help him in another way, but y'all clearly weren't supposed to be together.
Absolutely. I agree. I have so many successful working relationships with men because I don't care what the initial reaction was between us or the initial exchange. I just like, I friend zoned them. Like, I just want you to be the homie. Like, I want to be your homie. Because I also realized that when men are your friends, they treat you different than if they date you.
We'll protect women, especially, you can call it friend zone or whatever, but brother, sister, you're going to protect that woman by, any means. That's like, whatever has to happen. If you need something, I'm there. If you need, something built or whatever you need done,
they're going to make it happen.
Going to make it happen. And you're right. And it's important that we have that. And I'm so
and
glad
honestly, not to cut you off, but one thing that I also realized in that is that, because before that, I'm a girl that had daddy issues. Went to therapy for mad years.
Yes.
So I had to learn to respect men, because at one point I didn't. But it also made me realize that men take care of what they love.
Yes.
So
1,000,000%.
That helped me date differently. If you love me, my friends take care of me. There's not like all my male friends, listen, can you please help me, please? Yeah. And they gonna do it.
Right.
Because they love me. Like, and not like on no lustful love, like they really love me. And men are known to, like, if they love a woman, they'll take care of them. And I feel like women too, if you love a man, like my male friends, they know I don't tell them no.
Okay.
I have one male friend, he always get mad because he said I roll my eyes too much. But I said, how many times have I ever told you no? I don't tell him no, because that's my friend.
Yeah.
So
I like that. Okay. So, all right. You had that traumatic experience. Where did you say, you know what? It's time to, I want to know the exact moment you were like, all right, it's time to step away from this situation. And then you went into the whole weight loss and just changing your life around.
So it was a day, I had the weekend before, I went out for my mom's birthday and he didn't come home that night. And then the next weekend, my best friend at the time, her brother was murdered. Her brother and her cousin.
Oh no.
So my phone was broke. So
Okay.
I had to use his phone. So I'm on the phone talking to her, talking to my sister, and some say, "Girl, go through his phone." Child went through that phone,
That's
and
a
I
dangerous
found
thing.
5 different women who he was sleeping with. One of them he was partially living with when he was saying he was going to. And that night I just got on my knees and I prayed to God and asked him for the strength to leave that relationship. And it was on like popcorn ever since then. I said, I'm never going to allow myself to be in this situation again. And I don't know if it's because of the weight or what it was, but I gotta change who I am. Because like Tyrone keeps showing up with different names and different sizes, but Tyrone keeps showing up. He wasn't the first dirtbag I had dated. Not to call him a dirtbag, that's not nice, but whatever.
I mean, this is just, I'm not gonna correct you, but I see that. Okay. Now, when you decided to actually leave, what was his response to that? Was he trying to get you back? Was he trying to, or did he just kind of let you go and be like, it is what it is?
Yeah, he wrote a letter saying he's sorry and that it is what it is. He's right at that moment. Then he moved in with the girl that was like, that he was cheating with for real.
So his behavior didn't really change.
His behavior didn't change. Then he came back months later like, oh, I love you. I miss you. I want to get back with you. Like, please and at that point I had started to heal. So I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
That's
like, I was like mentally in a better space. Like, I was just like, I had moved out of the neighborhood. I moved back because I was in Essex County at that time. I moved back to Patterson.
Okay.
To my, with my family. So I was able to draw strength from there and just start, growing. And I was just like, nah, I'm good. And then a month later, I found out that the girl he was with was pregnant. So it was inevitable. Like, I'm glad that I went through that.
Got you. So where the weight loss start to come in? That's when you were 250, right?
Yeah, I was still 350 at the time, but no, I actually I tried for months to lose weight and I couldn't.
Okay.
On my own, it was like something, it just, like my spirit was broken.
Gotcha.
So I ended up having the gastric sleeve surgery in February 2013, which led to me, like, I was out of work. So I would go to the gym for like 3 hours a day once I got the green light. And I remember my doctor said to me, he said, what you do for a year after this surgery will determine your success. So I said, he was like, I advise you that once you get clearance, the nutritionist, he said, you go work out. And I started working out and I became obsessed. Like, not just with the results, but with the way it made me feel.
Wow.
For the first time, I wasn't like sad no more.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, because I guess it releases other chemicals when you work out and stuff like. Because I'm doing a lot of cardio now. I know you can see the difference. Brother,
that's why I said to you, I'm saying, wow, you look so great. I know this. I tell people I'm a personal trainer. I'm a body watcher, so don't be offended. I always just look at body.
Yeah.
But that's good.
But so it just releases. It's almost like it's a newfound confidence.
Come on now.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just like because I think all of the different things that you're eating and a lack of motion just keeps you in a state of just being still. And our bodies are made to move.
They are made for movement.
Yeah. So once we start doing that, I can understand. I can relate. Now, when we did this before, I'm like,
you was really asking questions because you really didn't get it, but now you get it.
No, for sure.
Like, I feel like it gives you, like, whenever something gets hard, I have 2 pivotal points that I go back to. If I could survive that, I could survive anything. But one of the things, like, mastering myself, like, my weight loss, and then taking it to the next level where I turned it into, I'm like, I want it to be so much a part of my life. I don't want an excuse to ever go back. That's why I started telling I
like that.
Yeah.
I like the way you said, because a lot of times we say the word self-control, but to me, it almost has like a negative connotation, like you can't control yourself. But mastering yourself, that's fire. I gotta use that. I'm gonna put that in my repertoire. I'm gonna give you credit, but
it don't matter. I steal stuff all the time. That's what it's here for. Listen.
So after the gastric bypass, like some people will say, "Oh, gastric sleeve."
Yes.
A lot of people like, "Oh, that's cheating" and stuff like that. But some people absolutely need that kind of like push or jump start, and now you're at a healthier place. So I'm glad you did decide to do that, because you may not have been with us if you didn't have that happen, to be honest, right?
And that's why at first it was a tough pill to swallow, because I was just like, I was very open. Like I'm very open about my life and my
Yes, you
journey.
definitely are. I'll give you that for sure.
I'm very open. And because I was open, I got a lot of attacks, a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah.
I was told I cheated this, that, and third, and it was very, very hard.
People's going in on you like that.
They mean.
Yeah.
People are mean. Like
for sure.
That's why I tell people, if you're gonna be on social media, you gotta know yourself, because people, they fickle. One day they love you, the next day they hate you.
Yeah. I mean, they did that to Jesus.
Okay.
It's like, hell, king of the Jews, and then free Barabbas.
Okay.
So it's just like,
Crucified.
If it happened to him,
nailed
who
to
are
the cross.
You know what
exactly
I'm saying? So,
my point.
Yeah. Oh man. And then so you leave this relationship, you're feeling better, you're getting healthier, you get the gastric sleeve, you get all of that. But then something happens that causes you to go back up and your weight to fluctuate, correct?
Yes, that is correct. So after I was lit, I'm small, I'm out here surely popping in these streets, making all this money in New York, living my best life, got my business going, my business is flourishing. And then my sister passed away.
Wow.
In January 2017, my sister was murdered in Maplewood. It was a home invasion. It was 2 men and 1 woman. And that was dark. That was a really, really, really tough, and it's still tough, honestly, but I'm a lot better. But that darkness was like one I've never experienced before. Like,
I can't even start to imagine. You know what I mean? It's like that's an extremely traumatic experience. Do you mind sharing the story of exactly what happened?
No, I don't mind sharing it.
Okay.
So on January 29th, it was the night of the 28th. We had just left my mother's birthday party, because my mother's birthday is January 27th. She was on her way. We went to my mom's house, and then she was like, I'm going to go to my boyfriend's house. And she went to her boyfriend's house. And then I remember getting up for the gym the next morning, and I went to the gym. And then after that, I drove to South Jersey because my best friend had just had a baby. So I went to see my godson. And on my way back, I remember my mom calling me, texting me, where are you? I was like, I'm on my way back. It was around 5 o'clock. I had to work the next day, so I didn't want to stay out too late because it was a 2-hour drive. So then when I get closer, 30 minutes away, my mother called me, but she sounded like she panting. She's like, where you at? Where you at? I'm just like, Mom, I'm on my way. Tashana doesn't live around the corner. She lives in South Jersey. She was just like, all right, well, hurry up. I need you to watch Zion. I'm like, well, where's his mother? That's my nephew, my sister, son. So she was just like, I don't know, but you got to get here. I got to do something. So I'm like, all right, cool. So that was it. So I get to the house, and I see my god sister Joy sitting on the couch. And she's like, oh, Shauna. And she's crying. And I'm like, what's wrong with her? I'm thinking she's sad because her brothers had one killed himself the year before. And then her other brother was killed in an accident the year before that. So, and my god sister's our little sister. So it was now she lost her sister, right?
Yes.
So she was just just sit on the couch. And I'm like, no, what is going on? Why? And I look in the kitchen. It's about maybe 8:30. And my grandfather is sitting in the kitchen. And my mom's fiance is sitting in the kitchen, and I'm like, neither one of them are ever here this late. What is going on? So I said, Mom, where's Shauna at? She was like, I don't know. The prosecutors are about to come, or the detectives are about to come here. I said, well, what? I'm like, I know that this girl did not mess around and get herself locked up. This is dumb.
Right.
So then I go in my mother room, and something didn't feel right? So I'm just like, let me go. I was like, let me research the story. I was like, did you talk to Bilal? Did you call Mike? She was like, I tried to call him. He didn't answer. His phone going to voicemail. So I'm like, nah, something ain't right. So I go in my room, and I'm like, I'm looking for shootings, right? Because of his lifestyle, whatever. I'm like, shootings in Irvington. And then my whole body got cold, and I heard a voice that says, Maplewood. So I looked up shootings in Maplewood, and it popped up. It was his apartment. It says 2 men and 1 woman found dead in the apartment, shot early in the AM. And I looked, and I turned around, and I said, Mom, who you said was coming here? She said the detectives. I said, Mom, Shauna is dead.
Wow.
And she was like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. I said, Mom, look, here's the story right here. And they never released her name, but I knew it.
Mm-hmm. At that moment, just tell me exactly what you were feeling.
I was angry because I'm like, man, I told her to get away from this situation. Like, I told her that this was a possibility, like jail or,
Yeah.
it was that big of a deal. Like, he wasn't like just a regular nickel and dime hustler. He was kingpin status. So I'm just like, if he could become a millionaire in this, you don't need to be around this at all. He's a dangerous man, and he wasn't a nice guy. He was very nice, he wasn't that. But with that comes a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy. And when it came out, it was his best friend who I thought was his brother. Like
That's how close they were.
They were, and then when I went to his funeral and he wasn't there, and they was like, "Oh, he said he had to start a job." I said, "Yo, he did it." Like, something in my gut told me. I said, either he did it or he had something to do with it. And yeah, like, I was just very angry, and I remember punching a hole in the wall and walking out.
This was at your mother's house?
At my mother's house.
Wow. Ooh. Now, how did your mother receive the news or the information?
I never seen my mother weep before. I never seen her, like, even when the detectives came in here and they was asking us all these questions, it felt like a First 48. I still can't watch First 48 ever since my sister passed away. Because the way that they came in there, it was just like that. They was like, "Oh, who is Michael? Who is Roshana? Like, what is her relationship?" I'm like, "Yo, sir, you asking all these questions. Where's my sister?" So then he was like, "There's been an incident." And then he showed us a picture of her. I still have the vision in my head. Her tattoo with blood streaming down her hand. And I was like, I was shocked. And my mother, everybody fell to the ground. And I just walked outside. And then, like, everybody's pulling up screaming, like, "Yo, where's Shauna?" I was like, "She's dead. Like, why are y'all asking this dumb question?" Like, and I just remember around that time, like, I couldn't really cry. Because, like, it was like I had to plan her funeral. I had to go identify her body. I had to pick out her hair and her outfit and all these things. And my mother couldn't do it, And then, like, I remember burying her that Monday and going back to work on that Tuesday.
We went back to work on that Tuesday?
Yeah.
So you didn't have any time to grieve at all?
No, I didn't.
Have you grieved since?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually went through the grieving process, like, for real. Like, when I moved away from my mom and I wasn't living in Rahway, I was living there by myself, and that's when it hit me. Because it was quiet. I would get off of work, I would go home, there'd be nobody there. And all I could think about was like, wow, my best friend is really not here. Like, I was so angry.
You said your best friend. So I was about to ask how your relationship was, like how close you guys were, like some of the things that you enjoyed together. What was that like?
Me and my sister was like real best friends. Like, you see, like we would talk from like 6 a.m. to like she would either be in nursing school or I'll be at work or something like that. Like, honestly, it was so bad. Like, my sister used to do my hair. I didn't get my hair done for like 2 months after she passed away because I didn't get my nails done because we used to get our nails done. I stopped shopping. I still don't shop. I only shop online. I don't go to the mall anymore. And it's still a lot of things that I stopped going out. I became antisocial because I used to go out like to like parties or like brunches and stuff with my sister. So when she passed away, I didn't realize how much I closed myself off from the world. Like, I wouldn't even, like, family gatherings, I wouldn't partake in, like, because it didn't feel the same. But that changed this year. I will say that I've come out of that. I do partake in things and activities, but it was a long time.
Yeah, you know what I do remember about our conversation? We talked about, I think, Christmas being you guys' favorite holiday, and now I'm like, yo, this is almost exactly a year from when we spoke last. You weren't celebrating Christmas at all.
No, and you know what the crazy part is? Because of you that I put up a Christmas tree.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you told me, like, you gotta, like, break out of that. Like, that was the first year that I had put up a Christmas tree. And I cried the whole time.
Wow.
But once it was up, I felt really, really good.
I do. You remember you sending me? Yes.
Remember I
Yes.
sent you a
do.
picture? I was like, look,
do.
Evan, I did it. Thank you.
Oh man.
So I want to tell you thank you for gifting that to me, because sometimes like when you're in darkness, like, you know, you don't realize like it's the simple things that will bring you light. You know, and like, even though like I always tell people from October to January, it's very trying. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm off social media.
Yes, you are. Yep.
I had to take a break because like I was folding, like, cause
and it's important to do that.
Yeah.
Business will come and all of that stuff, and even if most of your business comes through social media, I feel sorry for people whose sole business is on social media.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, and we can dive right into that.
Yeah.
But their sole businesses on social media, because it's like, when do you disconnect? Because if you don't post, you don't eat. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's people I know personally, their lives are like that. They're not making any money right now because of whatever, because they haven't been able to post. So,
that's why I decided to diversify my platforms.
There you go.
And diversify my marketing.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like I don't ever want to be connected to something that bad. Like, only God.
Yeah.
Not a person. Only God.
That's important. I wish, and it's almost like it's like a drug, because you feel like you need to do those things, and you're like, there's no other way. This is the only way. This is how I got to do it. And I think the creators of those applications, they absolutely want you to feel that way. That's why they make it where you don't leave. Like, you can shop on Instagram. You can order food on Instagram and Facebook now. They don't want you to leave, and it's just like, we more of us have to get like you, where we're just like, you know what, I'm going to pause for a minute, and you, like you said, you diversified how you get your income, and that's a beautiful thing.
And I'm challenging myself to master it. Like, I feel like we forgot about old school marketing.
Oh, that grassroots.
I have a bachelor's degree in marketing.
See?
So marketing is in my blood. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. And if iOS 14 for Facebook ads have not taught business owners that, please, y'all, learn how to diversify your marketing. I got a marketing book coming out in April.
Yeah, keep on dropping it.
Just so I let y'all know.
Plug.
Okay. You can still earn six figures. You have to always put yourself in a position where you're not reliant on a sole thing. I did that, and I lost $100,000. I made some money, but I spent $100,000 relying on a platform that is not meant for small businesses. Especially once they seen what we did last year in that pandemic, they're like, oh, we got to switch this up. Who these small business owners think nobody want to go to work? I got a trick for y'all.
No, y'all going
to work. I got a trick for y'all. I got something up my sleeve for you. So, you know, don't just rely on one source to market your business. Don't rely on one platform to market your business. Like getting out and talking to people is still a thing. Putting postcards on cars is still a thing. Direct mail really is still a thing.
It really is. Matter of fact, it's funny. I did meet this young lady on TikTok. She sells stickers and stuff like that, like mental health stuff. But she actually engages with her. She has a large following. She engages with everyone, and she handwrites the letters. And I just thought that was so cool. I'm like, yo, you actually took out the time to just write it down, and and then she like checked in with me to make sure I got the letter. I'm like, it's mad people that she has to deal with on a regular basis. So it's just like those personal connections are extremely important in business, and I can definitely see you doing that. But oh man, so how do you get to through all of that, you know, the horrible relationship, the tragic death of your sister, you know, the gaining of weight and all of that, like, how do you what was the healing process?
It was a mixture of a lot of things. It was God. I tell people all the time, they could call it a cat. What did you call like a cash? How do you say like one of them sayings that you just say? I don't know, whatever.
Cliche?
Cliche.
There you go.
You can call it a cliche all you want to, but I didn't know how real God was until I lost my sister. I knew him. Grew up Pentecostal my whole life, saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, all that.
Right.
But I didn't know him for myself until my sister passed away. And it was so crazy because I was very suicidal. I was very suicidal. I was suicidal for a few reasons. And the only thing that stopped me from killing myself was I didn't want my mother to go through that again. I couldn't live with that, even though I've been dead, but I couldn't go out like knowing that what she just went through. But I was in so much pain. And I just felt like it wasn't fair because my sister has a son. Why am I still here? I don't have children. She had a son and he needs his mother. It was a lot of things, but the only power that brought me through that darkness, only light, was God, prayer, going to church, reading my word, like really getting an in-depth relationship with him and reading stories of people that had gone through tragedies and were able to come out on the other side of it.
I want to hear some of those stories. What were the stories that kind of like pulled you out?
I think one of my favorite stories was Paul at the time. Him just going to jail and his attitude the entire time. He never switched from letting people know that God is still amazing. No matter what I gotta go through, God is still amazing. Jesus, who died on the cross for us, I don't think people understand what he had to endure. And I just would say, like, if God can die, if Jesus can die, why can't my sister? You know what I mean? Like, and knowing that, like, even I feel like Sarah and Abraham, God, his promise to them, no matter what they went through, how much they messed up trying to do their own thing, his promise to them was still the same. And then just watching people, just regular everyday people, like reading about stories about the catastrophes that people had to survive.
Yeah.
Look at Trayvon Martin's mother.
Very true.
You know, look at, and my nephew. I looked at him, I said, this kid still be smiling. Knowing what happened to his mother.
Lost his mom, the woman that created him.
His best friend, because he loved his mother. He, like, him and my sister was like.
Now, was that his father that was murdered as well? Okay.
No, that was her boyfriend.
Okay, no problem.
But yeah, so like I drew a lot of strength from my nephew because he don't even, like, he go through the motions, but he still keep going.
Wow. Yeah, that is inspiring. So you feel like you held on to a little bit for your nephew as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why I had to go to work.
You even helped you basically took care of him, didn't you?
I still do. Yeah. That's my child now. Child, listen.
Right. What is that like? You at the time you were single at the time, right?
Yeah.
So you're single, you're making a lot of money, you're making moves, you're doing all of these things, no children, nobody to rely on you, and then all of a sudden this tragedy happens, and not only are you losing this, now you have to take care of a whole human being.
Shout out to the moms of the world. Okay? Yeah. Y'all are the real MVPs. I don't care what nobody say.
Facts. But what was that transition like?
It was very traumatic. That, like at first I was resentful. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. It wasn't I was resentful because I don't love my nephew, but I love my nephew.
Got you.
For him to go from a nephew to a son-nephew, knowing that I intentionally said I'm not having children because I'm out here trying to conquer the world, okay? Pinky and the Brain style, okay? And to know that now I have to perform, right?
Yo, like all of your decisions now
are based around my nephew.
Absolutely.
And it's like, okay, at first it was very, very hard. And nothing humbles you like being a mom. Because there is no manual. Every kid is different. You want to be hard on them, but then you look at them like this child needs love. So at this moment, I got to come back to be hard. 1 second. I'm going to love him through this process. So it's like you mature as a human. Like, you mature as a person. You become so selfless, and you like, well, it's not about me. I got to do this for him. Like, that's why, like, no matter how many L's I take in life and in business, I am going to be on top because I have my nephew.
Yeah, that's your. A lot of entrepreneurs, we do like probably MOGUL University and all of that stuff, and read a bunch of books, and people talk about having a why and connecting a why to your goal, and that seems like your nephew is your why.
Yeah, he's my why. My sister is my why. Just my goddaughter, my mom, like, just all the people And now my why is even bigger than that, because I feel like I owe it to every person that has bought into me, that has cheered me on, that has purchased, that has encouraged my heart on my hard days. I owe it to them to let them know that their prayers didn't go on deaf ears.
That level of gratitude is what's gonna like keep and sustain you through your journey, because there's a lot of people that just expect people to support them, or just expect people to pray for them, or expect people to just pour into them, and they won't say what you just said. You know what I mean? So that I commend you for that, and for all of the things that you've accomplished through the different storms. I remember, I believe your dad passed right before you did the first episode, and to see how you were just handling and keeping things and managing like nothing even happened. Like, do you feel like that's detrimental?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I feel like okay.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I feel like that's very detrimental.
Okay.
I feel like it's detrimental because we live in a world, we just feel like we got to handle it. Like I'm good. I'm not good. Don't look at me as strong. I'm a human too. Like I feel like because I have acted that way my whole life, that is the expectation now. And that's not fear.
Right.
It's not fear to, because someone is able to handle hard situations or hard moments or detrimental moments, for you to not ask them, are they okay?
And you've survived a lot. So I want to get to just how you cope and how you heal specifically. Especially like losing a parent is, I haven't experienced that yet, but from what I've seen and from what I've gathered from other people, you know, it's an experience. Both of my parents have lost both of their parents. Well, my grandfather's still alive, but he didn't take care of my mom. But they both lost parents, and to watch them, don't think I've ever seen my dad cry until recently. My mom, she cries all the time, but she was in a different space when my grandmother passed away. So, like, what is your healing process? Especially since you're the person that you seem like the person in the family that everybody goes to and relies on and depends on. Like, what is, because there's a lot of people just like you. I want to know what your process is, because to me, and maybe I'm wrong, it seems like you're healed to an extent.
I feel like I feel like to an extent.
Okay.
I'm healed. I feel like when it comes to the healing process, I think that the best thing that I can tell anybody that may be going through something like this is whatever emotion you feel, ride with it. Wow. If you are angry, be angry. If you are sad, be sad. If you can laugh at a moment that you remember, do that. Like, because I feel like what makes my old mindset of just keep going detrimental, you suppress so much stuff till you explode. Yeah. Like, mental health is real, right?
Yes,
and a big part of my healing process is therapy as well. Every time I feel like triggered to a point where I can't help myself, it's therapy. Now I've been through so many processes with therapy that I know what things that I need to do, aka disconnect from social media. I know y'all rely on me. I know y'all need me to work out. I know I'm inspiring to y'all, but I can't serve you from an empty cup.
Right, and you can't build other people up when you're broken down. So,
I don't think people understand, like, right. And with that being said, I just think that, like, checking on your strong friend is a real thing. Like, so many people, then I realized this year, I'm like, I am tired of y'all saying that to me. Oh, you gonna be all right. You always don't do that.
Like,
stop saying
actually, that. I don't feel like I am.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And I need for you to give me the space in this moment to not be okay for a second just because it make you uncomfortable. Like, bruh, I know my company is called Strength of a Winner and Strength of a Woman, but that strong person, sometimes that strong person gets tired, gets weary, gets hurt, all of that.
Do you have in your life the people that check on you or check on the strong friend? Do you have that right now?
Yes.
Okay.
It's so funny. If you would have asked me that last year, I would have thought I did. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it got heavy and the ish hit the fan,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the light went away, and things, the waters got trouble, a lot of people got out those waters.
Wow.
So now, yeah, I'm safe.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people that left from around me.
And I mean, I guess that's for the better. And just like, I think I was talking about Job this week, and we keep talking about the Bible. So it's just like,
I love him.
Right. It's just like, for whatever reason, it seems like we have to, not have to, but it seems like in order to gain, we have to lose. And maybe all of those things are being emptied out so we can have room to receive whatever, life has for us.
Right.
And I think that's very much your story. Like, yes, nobody wants to lose their sister, but look at all of the things that you've accomplished because I
know I wouldn't have did it if she was here.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I did it, but it wouldn't have been to this degree. Like, coming from that take a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Like, losing my sister, it was, when I say this, people cringe. It was the worst and best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Because it gave me a threshold for pain that even like when things are really, really hard, I'd be like, okay, if I can survive that, I can survive this.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just looking at everything. Like you're a trainer, you're an entrepreneur, you're a motivational speaker, you're an author now, and I deem that successful, right? So do you feel like you're successful?
No.
I didn't even think so. Now, so with that being said, define success for me.
I feel like success is, for me, is attaining goals, like certain goals that I have for myself, and not just business, life. I want a whole life. Like, I want to be able to have fulfilled relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to have marriage and eventually a child of my own. Maybe, I don't know. Because I done raised too many kids at this point. I'm good on that, Jesus. I think I put my bid in already. And then to be very extremely successful in business. Like, I'm like, my goals are like world renowned. It's not just here. I want to touch the world.
Okay. All right. But I'm going to say this, because
Okay.
I'm always going to give a little tidbit. I feel like enjoy the moment too. Like,
I'm learning that.
And success isn't just colossal.
Mm-hmm.
Success can happen every single day. Every time you check off or every time you complete a task or a goal, that is success. But we look at it like, oh, I don't have $1 million, but you made $1, and that's a lot more than a lot of other people have done. And that was your goal, to make that $1. So you accomplished it. That makes you successful. Maybe you didn't go to college. Maybe you don't have a degree, whatever it may be. That doesn't mean that you're not successful. Maybe you went to trade school and you're killing
the game.
Right. Or
I wish I would have thought some things. I'm not.
I hear you. But it doesn't mean you're not successful because it's not on a grandiose level. It's still success, and that's why I created Success is Learned Behavior, because everyone's definition is different.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's definition might be like, in regards to family, some people just want to be moms and be great moms.
Yo, some people they rock stars. Let me tell you, moms, I'm telling you, when I have so much respect for moms, bro.
It's
like,
a full-time job.
Like, they really just like everything to me. Like, not, and no offense, Dad, Jahi, but moms, bro, they are amazing.
Yeah. I do know a couple of, like, for instance, I have an uncle who his wife left.
And he the rock star.
Right. 5 boys. Raised 5 boys.
See what I'm saying? He a rock star too.
Right. So but everybody's definition of success is different, and you gave us yours. Hopefully you'll taper it a little bit.
I will say this.
Okay.
I will say this. What I've learned is to I'm
You're critical of yourself.
I'm critical of myself, and
Yeah.
I'm very aggressive,
Mhm.
which is not always a good thing. I'm
Right.
learning to be a little bit conservative when it comes to business. But
And I'm not gonna sit here and be the pot calling the kettle black.
I know,
yeah.
like, we just, like, and I think also with you getting just visions of everyone else's success, and
Right.
comparison is the killer of joy and happiness, and that's another reason why I'm off social media, because I'm a human.
Right.
I'm not gonna act like I don't see somebody doing something that I want to do, and it's not a jealous thing where it's like, oh, they don't deserve that. Absolutely not. It's like, I need to be doing more. But what if my more is I'm doing as much as I can at this moment, right?
Right.
So I'm learning to, like, really value how I operate in this season. And I feel like, so if you want to think, if you say it that way, yeah, man, I've survived a lot of stuff. I've came back from a lot. So, and I do, like you said, like, that dollar is more than somebody else, because a lot of people, one thing I would say that I will deem successful in the last year is nobody gave me a check since June of last year.
Yes.
Every dollar that I made, I had to earn. And I mean, like, I was trying to get unemployment. They was, my old company whack, bro. Like, they really told them unemployment that I owned a company. I was like, well, everybody else getting it. Why I can't get another check? Like, I like checks. Like, look, I'm gonna keep it 100. I wanted to get it.
Right.
They was like, don't you own a business? I'm like, all right, yeah, I don't got time to be playing with y'all. Y'all got me messed up. But I literally wrote my own check every single day for the last year. That I feel like that's successful, because I've never done that before.
Right.
I've always relied on someone else.
Yeah.
And to see that, that's when, and I have this thing where I believe truly entrepreneurship comes from God. Because I believe, like, entrepreneurship really requires faith.
Right.
It requires belief. All of the things that are reiterated over and over and over in the Bible, right? And I feel like it requires a different level of confidence in yourself, and to know that no matter what, I'm going to come back from this. I don't care what this moment looks like. I'm coming back from this.
Right.
That
and entrepreneurship, I know we talked about it being trendy, but from the creation and the genesis, like, those were entrepreneurs during that time, because they had to farm and they had to do all of these different. There was no a Fortune 500 company you can go work at. They had to, like, build, and God made them creators, and He gave them dominion over the earth and all of that. So it's just like, you're absolutely right. It does. I do believe it comes from God.
I think that if you're in denial, that's fine, but read the Millionaires of Genesis.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I have that.
You will see that it wasn't I get it. Jesus was a carpenter, but it wasn't nobody broke.
Nope.
I think y'all got that messed up. The poverty, God and poverty does not go hand in hand. How you gonna go over the land and like you said, conquer the land and have dominion over the earth when you broke?
For sure.
That ain't of God.
Right. I believe you.
I'm just saying that's for the people. Just
awesome. All right, tell me what projects you have coming up, or some things you want to share and you want people to know about what's going on with you. Can you even go ahead and share?
I don't want to share.
I was. Well, at least talk about the book a little bit more.
Okay, so I have. Okay, that's the only thing I'll talk about, because I've already talked about that. I've learned to shut up because people
they prey on you and stuff like that. I get it, but this is your boy here.
Not you, but we don't know who watching.
Right.
Not you, but I would definitely share with you off screen.
Okay,
you my friend.
Yeah.
But I definitely have a marketing book coming out. Just because a lot of people, they ask me a lot of questions about marketing, like how you were able to build your brand, and like, my brand is an authentic brand. Like, I had somebody think it was an insult to tell me that my brand was homegrown. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Right,
okay, right. It's gonna be in plenty more homes. You keep it up.
That's right.
But it's I wanted to help people from a real perspective, like, about marketing and how to and talk about a lot of different avenues of marketing. Like, there's so many ways to market, and I made such a huge mistake of only relying on Facebook ads. I put all my eggs in a basket, and I almost lost all my eggs in the basket.
Wow.
So I say, you know what? I don't want nobody else to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
That was very, very it was a lot to come back from that. Like, you know, and I was just like, I'm going to help the people. I was like, I guess this is my test for testimony so I can help somebody else. So I wanted to come out. And then I really love marketing. Like, I've always loved marketing. And I just went from there.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Do you have any advice for people that have gone through maybe not even similar situations, just a situation, because we all handle things differently, but someone going through what they deem to be traumatic, how could they survive the way you did and pull out and be as successful as you are?
I think people need to see real examples of what success is. Okay. I think people need to read about people who they deem successful. Yeah. Steve Harvey was homeless at 33. Yeah. Tyler Perry, he was living in the theater, and look at him now. Like, I think people try to omit the struggle, and my advice is, don't try to omit the struggle. Like, if you are right now in a struggle, embrace it. Yeah. Embrace it, learn from it, and realize. I heard something the other day. The girl said, if your back is against the wall, it's okay, because now you can see everything that's in front of you. You can see the people that's there. You can see your mission. You get clarity. Become clear about what you want, and then it don't matter what you're going through right now. That's a good one. Yeah. Keep that clarity. Like, remember why you're doing it. And these are things that we hear all the time, but when you're in the middle of it, like I was in the middle of it, and I'm still in the middle of it, because I feel like I'm still like out here, like, you can't give up. I feel like success only surrenders to the person that decides that they're never going to give up until it surrenders. Right. I agree 100%. So that's a gem right there. Tell everybody how they can follow you or find you and all of that on social media, your website, all of that. Give me that information, please. So my social media platforms is, take a pen and write it down. I got 3, y'all. Is the or put it in your phone, because you know she's not using phones, but you might be. You might be. Go and look it up real quick. Right. So you can find me at Fabulously Fit Crystal on Instagram. Or if you want to follow my fitness page for fitness tips and my products that I sell, is soew.fitness. And then my Strength of a Woman platform, which I've devoted to God and serving his people for healing, which is my largest platform. That's so funny. Is Strength of a Woman 18. Nice. You can find me. And then my website is www.soawfitness.com. All across the board. I love consistency. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for doing this again and sharing your story and inspiring. I definitely appreciate it. And I know there's more great things to come. I appreciate Thank you all for listening and watching and all of that. If you want to follow me, again, my name is EVANTHESHOW. You might not know me. I'm not going to just assume you do. They know you. He a big deal. Don't let his humility fool y'all. It's Evan, EVANTHESHOW, all across the board. You can Google it, all of that. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. He's funny on TikTok. Thanks again.